Welcome back to another episode of the flyest broadcast known to mankind. It's a two-man pick and roll today. Me and my guy Phil on the Two Truth podcast. Man, welcome back. We missed you. We hope you feel the same or felt the same. Phil, how you doing, baby?
Great. I'm great. It's a cloudy Monday after 75 days straight of 87-degree weather, and it feels great.
Okay.
That's how I'm feeling.
How was your weekend?
Weekend was cool. It was busy, but I didn't do shit Sunday, so it was cool.
Can we talk about this 5-panel sailor's hat that was pink and said Barbie, and you looked like you were somewhere doing karaoke? Can you explain that to me a little bit?
Honestly, I was inspired by Stefon Diggs and his nails, and so I wanted to wear a pink Barbie hat.
Shout out to Diggs, man. That's my guy.
No, I'm playing. My friend had a Malibu Barbie birthday party.
Hold on, was that shade though to Diggs?
No, it was not.
So you're talking about Stefon Diggs and what there was like a reformer accident that he.
Yeah, he fell off. He fell off the Pilates reformer, because don't sleep on Pilates. That shit is tough.
It's dangerous.
It's people don't know. If you don't have muscle endurance, that shit's not gonna be easy.
Yeah, for sure. So was this something that the internet made a big deal out of? Because I didn't even notice his nails until an anonymous source kind of showed me.
I probably,
was it in the comments or like what, like where? Because I saw him fall off the reformer a million times, but I didn't see the acrylic or the, what do they call it? Is it an acrylic? Is it in a full blown French set? Like, what is it?
Looked like acrylic. Just looked like he had the claws from that FX show.
Okay, so like, did you see anything on the internet, like in the comment section, people giving him a hard time about it or something?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure people give him a hard time just because people give people who paint their nails a hard time. So
I don't get that.
Acrylics is it's just a step up.
Yeah, see, for me, I'm not going to get my nails done, but I don't knock the next man that gets their nails done. For me, I'm going to judge you from a hygiene standpoint. If you got like that weird black thing lining at the, you know what I'm saying? You're going to have to stay away from it because you probably haven't washed your hands and all you're doing is scratching your ass. But that's about it. But if you get your nails painted as a man, or if you got acrylics, to each his own. I got 8 piercings on my ear, on both ears, and you ask, some men might think that that's weird, and I don't care. I'm gonna do me, and I got my nose pierced
For sure.
But
and that's why Jay-Z told him. Jay-Z was like, "Stop acting brand new."
Yeah.
Like Tupac had a nose ring too. That's what he was saying. He was talking to millennials. Stop shading Gen Z because they do some shit.
Who made a
like
bigger
your
deal?
hero.
Sorry, who made a bigger deal out of it though, men or women?
Oh, that's a great question. I don't know. It's hard to tell because the internet's so different. Your algorithm is mine is different. You're going to see different comments than I see. That would be a great question. I would be curious to see, because I feel like a lot of times, now this is a super generalization, but you will have something of that sort where like men will be like, I don't know. And then you'll have the women who are like way more tolerant than the men, but then you'll have the women that are way less tolerant. They're just like, nah, I'm not fucking with that. So yeah, I don't know.
Oh man, so I'm not letting you slide out of that though, man. So tell me a little bit more about this Barbie hat you were wearing.
My friend has been driving Chevy Malibus since 2007.
Do you want to shout him out or shout her out?
Samantha.
Samantha.
Young. Yeah.
It was her birthday?
It was her birthday.
Do you want to disclose her age?
Oh yeah, it was her 35th. So she redid her 30th birthday.
Happy 35th birthday.
Happy birthday.
Shout out to her.
And so she had a Malibu Barbie themed birthday party.
Karaoke themed.
No, we went on. No, that was just the after party.
Okay. You were in prime. Like, was that 2.0, Phil, though?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to tell people about 2.0?
No.
Or have we disclosed this before?
No, figure it out yourself.
You were in there. You were dancing. You were singing.
Yeah, I was on. You know what's crazy?
What's that?
Which I won't show video of. I tried to do Not Like Us.
Oh, wow.
That song is so fucking hard to do on karaoke.
Yeah. Pulitzer.
I had to wait for wop, 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 wop to get back lined up. I was like, oh, shit, I'm fucking up. cut, restart.
Who else sang it with you?
No, I did that by myself.
Solo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there was no. Okay, cool. Well, I'm not. Never mind. You knew where I was going. You knew where I was going with that.
But yeah, did that. That pretty much took care of the whole weekend. 'Cause
Sure.
Sunday, I was just like, well, got work tomorrow. I guess I better sit on this couch and figure out my life.
For sure.
What about you? How was your weekend?
It was cool, man. I was by myself. Kids were out of the house. My lady was out of the house.
Oh, there you go.
And
Okay.
I did a bunch of domestic shit, yard work, smoking cigars outside. I went through 3 cigars, a couple bottles of rosé, sparkling rosé, and I cleaned up the front yard, backyard, the garden, laid new mulch down.
You're really out here.
You know what I'm saying? What else did I do?
Green thumb.
We had a bunch of things for Bella that needed to be kind of like put together for the summer.
Yeah.
So she could play and do. So I got all that knocked out. Gave the dogs a bath. I was in my domestic bag,
you
man.
was really out here.
So yeah, man, I did that, and now we're here, man. We confirmed between now and the last time we potted that the Donald Trump attempted assassination was real and it wasn't fake.
Nah, that shit.
Real deal, right?
Real.
I mean, we've seen it in AI, we've seen it in 3D, we've seen it in
I've seen 3D renderings of what would have happened if he had not looked at his teleprompter.
Yeah.
Shit.
And today is Monday the 22nd.
Monday the 22nd.
And for those that are living underneath a rock, there was some breaking news on Sunday.
Bro, this has been the craziest 10 days to ever happen.
So what took place on Sunday?
This motherfucker Joe Biden dropped out via a picture of a memo on some random white paper that we got downstairs.
Would you have preferred
On
him
Twitter.
get in front of a camera and talk?
Maybe not.
Right? It does feel like it's a skit right out of the like South Park, like
It's some South Park, Chappelle, SNL. It's just like every piece is involved.
so tell the viewers what happened.
Joe Biden released a statement. Basically, he released a first statement saying that he felt like he should focus on the presidency and wasn't going to run for re-election. And then he put another post out on like his personal Twitter saying that he was endorsing Kamala Harris
Yeah.
as his for president.
Yeah. The thing that was most important to me, second to Biden stepping down from a second term, was Barack Obama, former president, not making one mention of Kamala Harris. Am I and the rest of the world blowing that out of proportion, or is that one of those things where you don't want to go out there on a limb just yet and just kind of throw her name in the hat and endorse that?
I do think there's a couple things. I think the way they went about that, if Republicans had went about that, we would be screaming.
In what way? I mean, explain.
To just step down and be like, yo, this is who y'all should vote for. There's supposed to be a process where like you have the Democrats that are here. You start with 3 or 16 if you're the Republicans 8 years ago, and you whittle it down and you make a choice. So for the president to just straight up be like, I'm done and here's the choice. I understand that time is of the essence, but if a Republican president had did that, we'd be like, it's rigged. It's fucking rigged. You can't do that shit.
I don't think so. I mean, I don't think so. Especially like, sure. I mean, then if I felt like it was shady, why doesn't Biden just step down and then put Kamala Harris and make Kamala Harris the acting president?
Now that would be hella shady.
That's shady.
Yeah,
but that's not what they did.
Agreed. I'm just saying, if the other side had done this, we'd be talking about it.
Is this the Republicans or the far right Republicans that you're talking about? That would have had a problem.
I'm not saying. I'm saying if they had done it, we would have a problem.
Yeah, they have a problem with the fact that Biden is out because I think
Yeah,
that they
of course
had a better
do.
chance. They had a better chance whooping his ass, huh?
Of course, they have a problem. I'd have a problem too.
I was so lost. I thought I was in a twilight zone, man, because for like 8 hours after him stepping down from a second term, Trump was still attacking President Biden like it was still his opponent.
Yo, That man is unhinged. His send off, like, bro, it's over. His send off was so crazy. He has to be the worst person to be a handler for
Sure.
of all time.
Yeah.
And people want it because it's like, well, it's the president. Don't I want to work for the president? And the way we saw in his first term, it's like so many people was quit. It's like, I can't do it. He's cannot keep his mouth shut for 4 months straight.
Sure. So I guess my next question to you is before we move on to Kamala Harris is, do you think Biden came to that decision on his own or he was forced to make that decision?
No, Biden didn't come to that decision on his own. In fact, I think the reason Obama didn't say anything is because Obama's like the guy they call in when they really need a favor. Like back in 2016, when they really needed a favor to get Joe Biden to sit down so Hillary could run, he wasn't willing to drop out until Obama met with him and was like, bro, this is Hillary's year, like fall back. You know, if it doesn't work out, you got it next time. So I'm assuming it wasn't until like one of those talks where he finally was like, okay, I'll fall back.
You think the outcome against Trump in his first term is different if Biden would have been the elected Democratic?
I do.
And what do you think that outcome would have been?
I think he would have had a better chance of winning.
Huh.
Yeah, I think people don't like women.
Yeah, which is wild.
It's crazy while watching House of the Dragon, which is about just rightful women being like voted out, or like having their throne stolen from them over and over. I'm like, man, I live in this same world. Yeah, we are voting, but you have people who just like, she's perfect, she does everything right. Ooh, I don't know, because she's a lady. And sometimes I'd be like, you're a lady. What do you mean?
So as of the last hour,
Kamala has officially been declared the Democratic candidate. And I think she had a couple people who would have run that said they weren't. Gavin Newsom and Gretchen Whitmer both said that if she was chosen, they wouldn't run against her. And so I think we knew that her best opponents wouldn't run against her from the Democratic Party. But I think the process just needed to be a little bit more official, I think. And it sounds like that's what they're doing.
yeah. I'm curious as to see who her vice president is going to be.
It's going to be an old white man.
Yeah.
If she wants to get votes.
So what do you know, this is obviously unprecedented times. What does this even look like for the Democrats?
Bro, I have no idea.
What kind of, like, what is the outcome? Is there even a, like, sure, I'll say it right now. I endorse Kamala Harris. She'll have my vote. But I want to know if the rest of not only America, but liberals in the United States are going to vote for Kamala Harris as well. I mean, we still have Bernie Sanders that won't yet come out and endorse her. Kennedy won't come out and endorse her. And when you think about some of these swing states that are still a little bit undecided as to who they want to vote for, they want to hear from the people that they would vote
for sure,
to endorse. And for me, for the life of me, I can't understand why it's not an easy endorsement when you think about who the opponent is, right?
Because I don't think the outcome affects those people you're talking about.
But it does.
I think I think the world is the same for them regardless of who's in office.
When you say those people, who are you talking about? The voter?
Oh, I think politicians towards the top, left or right.
Sure.
I think it don't matter. They getting money, they getting their stocks changed before the trades happen. They, insider trading, all that shit.
Sure.
That's my opinion on it.
Yeah.
Because like at some point it's like, yo, what's the other option?
Yeah, what is the other option? Do you think Kamala Harris gives Trump a run for his money?
That's a great question, and I truly don't know, because the cynic in me saw what happened to Hillary, and yeah, sure, the world, it's a later world. We have way more Gen Z voters now than we did 8 years ago, and I bet that Gen Z heavily leans left. I don't know how active they are in voting, and I don't know if they can outweigh a lot of boomers that I think will either just not feel inspired to show up for Kamala, or will actually be like, well, I'll vote for Trump.
See, I think that Kamala Harris, from what I've seen, the sample size that I've seen in 4 years, I do think she has the endurance to spar effectively against somebody like Donald Trump.
I agree.
And I think she's highly educated.
Yeah.
And is not wet behind the ears. She has plenty of experience, has been in politics for a really long time. My thing is, I just don't know. Like, you look at when Hillary Clinton ran in 2016.
Yeah.
Not only was America not ready for a woman to be in office, they weren't ready for a white woman to be in office. And so you fast forward to the 2024, 2025 elections. It's like, I feel like Americans would rather have a psychopath that is a white man in office than a rational black woman that is deserving of being.
That's how you feel?
Yeah.
That's how I feel too. Even the way some people were talking about J.D. Vance for being married to an Indian woman was so mind-blowing.
It's wild.
I was like, yo, this guy, some of his policies are some of the shittiest things I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And you guys are cool with his absolute zero abortion ban, but you're mad that he's married to an Indian woman? That is nuts. But that shit, I think, still exists. I don't know. That's prevalent. It's less prevalent decade to decade, I'm sure, but it's still out there. So if that's out there on the right, I'm sure there are some people who are just not comfortable with Kamala on the left. But we will see it because I have no idea. I have no idea. The thing that I think needs to happen for people, they need to be inspired to vote, because it's not just about
You're
who
not
you're picking.
you're not inspired to vote. You got a psychopath getting ready to run for a second term.
Yeah, but
That should inspire you in itself.
it did in 2020, but we can't always. It's kind of shitty to rely on the other side to inspire you to vote instead of your own side.
But I think the scarcity in what this America looks like if Donald Trump gets a second term is scary, because he is attacking a lot of different people's rights and looking to change.
And he's not worried about getting reelected this time.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure. So you think he's going to be our president?
I do.
Yeah.
I do think if he keeps acting like he did yesterday, man, he was so far ahead, I think, by having to be able to paint the narrative that rhetoric against him led to a lapse in federal protection for him that almost got his head blown up in front of the world. And he got up like a gangster to throw up black power.
Many, man.
But-
Wish death upon me, dog.
Like, that is the craziest show of strength, especially juxtaposed against Joe Biden, who he just doesn't look super competent, especially for another 4.5 years when he's talking.
Sure.
But I think the more Donald Trump goes on Truth Social and goes unhinged, the more he's eating away at his lead. Like, bro, shut up.
Can we talk? Do we have time to talk about the RNC real quick?
Yeah.
That was insane. What did you think about Hulk Hogan ripping his shirt off at one point?
So,
Or is that expected?
I guess everyone forgot what he said about his daughter dating black men.
Sure.
I guess everyone forgot. Because to see people be like, oh, he's for Trump. Like, motherfucker,
He
is way more right than Trump.
He been waiting for somebody like Trump.
Like, he was right when Trump was a Democrat.
He was waiting for a Trump back when he went to the WCW.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man.
But I don't know why would you bring him up?
Yeah.
Like, who was like not going to vote and was like, oh,
Come on, man.
fuck, Hulk is voting?
You don't think Hulk Hogan's gonna draw a vote?
No, I do. It's just that's stupid.
That's a cheat code, I feel like. The other thing that was a cheat code was Amber Rose.
Yeah, that's.
What'd you think about the Amber Rose endorsement?
I'm very confused on like her whole switch that she's done in the last 6-12 months.
Can you is there a world in which they just threw the bag at her and said endorse him?
Of course, there's a world.
Because I do think that is what it boils down to, is she probably got a bag for $20 million to endorse Donald Trump. And I think that Donald Trump and his campaign are throwing real money at, they're throwing a lot of money at hip hop.
Why didn't they choose some? I mean, yeah, they did this last time, right? They tried to get Ice Cube to have a meeting just so they, in my opinion, just so they could put Ice Cube's name in headlines saying he was going to have a meeting. They got Jim Brown.
See, I think what Ice Cube was trying to do was commendable, and I think that's what black people should be doing and should have been doing.
I
It's
agree.
like, yeah, I hear what you're talking about,
Yeah.
but what are you doing specifically for black people?
I agree. I just think they were trying to use him for their own.
Sure, they were trying to make him the totem black guy.
Yeah.
For sure.
So now they've gone over somebody. Now they're going after, I don't know, a little easier targets.
Yeah, I just don't know. Like, I don't. And this might sound fucking crazy, but like, I don't think Amber Rose has a following that's like, ooh, I gotta vote. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I
It's
agree.
like-
And my best
it's hella random.
My best thought is that they don't know that. My best thought is they looked at her profile and were like,
Oh, she dated Kanye.
or they were just like, look how many black people follow her. I'm like, people following her are not following her for her opinions.
Sure.
But my best guess is like they don't know that because that was just get someone more influential. That's hella.
Sure.
But maybe they can't.
Yeah.
But for enough money, I feel like I don't know.
What do you think about JD Vance?
He's
As a vice.
He's gonna have to walk back a lot of shit.
Yeah.
That
He talked a lot about Donald.
that no fault divorce, that anti-abortion for whatever reason, that shit does not fly with almost anyone in America,
Yeah.
right or left.
Yeah.
So like, him and Trump gonna have to get in a room, and Trump's gonna be like, "Bro, I've had 13 abortions. If you keep pushing this, people are gonna release that."
That's not funny. That's not funny. That is not funny.
Like, it's crazy talk.
Oh my God, man. We live in a crazy world.
It feels fake.
Side note. If you were single and you had an opportunity to be on a dating show, would you do it?
No.
I feel like you'd be that, like, the black guy that typically is on a dating show has your personality.
Yeah, I couldn't do it
Why?
because I have more than 7 people in my family.
Okay, so they give you a hard time?
This feels crazy. I had a cousin go on a show one time.
Can we talk about it?
Not really. But it was crazy. My cousin went on like Judge Joe Brown or Judge Judy.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was nuts.
That's crazy.
I mean, my grandparents aren't alive anymore, but they were at that time, and I was like, they shouldn't have to see this.
Well, it's good to know.
So
Do you remember when we were getting solicited by
every day, and when the show finally came on, I was like, oh, they was calling us because they was looking for black dudes.
Yeah, I mean, they were also, one of our old members.
Yeah.
Was on a show too.
Yep.
That we were getting bombarded by phone call, email, text, phone call,
All the time.
all the time, and she was a fan favorite.
It was funny because they would call and they'd be like, looking at your staff, you guys look like you guys have the type of environment we're looking for. But they never ask about women when they called. They were like, are any of the men on your staff single? And every time I was like, nah. And I was like, we have one, but there was only one. Like, we've never had single dudes on our staff.
Yeah. Keep preaching, Phil. Keep preaching.
Then when I finally
been
saw the
single.
show, I was like, oh, that's crazy.
So that's a no. You wouldn't do it.
No, and clearly
Even if
nobody
the
else
bag-
would in
No,
Seattle.
I'm saying if the bag was right though, $10 million.
Okay, that's stupid. Yeah,
Okay, take it back. 500,000.
yeah.
But you got to do some wild shit. You got to do some wild shit.
Why? Nobody's doing wild shit.
No, I'm saying like the wild shit that we already see on TV.
You're talking about like The Bachelor?
Like you're like
Or like
you're,
The Bachelor
you're
in
like
Paradise.
telling one woman that you're talking to and you're really interested in sweet nothings, and then like behind her back you're like talking to this other chick that you're also like, you're the villain, you're the heel.
That shit is so crazy.
Would you play that role?
Nah, but 10 years ago, yes.
Yeah, I would fail miserably.
But mostly because there is some kind of success associated with being on those shows.
Sure.
Like financial success.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like, you can really go on one of those shows and probably get a house.
Yeah,
You know?
it's name and likeness.
Yeah.
What it boils down to.
Right. Especially if you play it right.
Man, who's that? I'm not gonna call him a cornball. He's just not. The dude that is from Seattle was on that. Was it Love Is Blind?
Mm-hmm.
And he hangs out. What's his name?
The one we was with at the Drake concert?
I don't. Was it Marshall?
Are you talking about the dude who works for Nintendo? Marshall?
I don't know who he works for, but he was letting that girl just drag him on the show.
Yeah, that was Marshall. Yeah.
Shout out to Marshall, man. I hope he bounced back. Oh, he's engaged. I think I seen it on the internet. He's engaged.
To her?
Nah, hell nah. To some woman that loves him and he loves her back. And you know me, man.
I bet he wouldn't have found her without going on that show.
I'm in support of love, man. Love is real, man. I believe in love, man.
It's blind.
It is blind. Also, side note, we kind of glossed over the other part.
We didn't side note. You didn't answer the question if you would go on.
I would do it.
The Bachelor?
I would do any one of them.
Bachelorette?
Where I'm like a bunch, like
one of 25 dudes.
Yeah, I'd do it. Because you got to remember, ain't nobody running me out the club. If I'm in the club and Drake's in the club, I'm not running out the club.
Michael Ealy's in the club?
I'm not running out the club. I think very highly of myself. I'm very confident. Not arrogant, not cocky, just confident. So yeah, I'd do it. I would do it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie; those shows don't seem super crazy.
Now, the show I would not do is the one where you're in a relationship and then you're like, what
absolutely
is that shit
crazy.
called?
The Ultimatum?
It's fucking crazy.
Ultimatum's insane.
Man, hold on. You're gonna give me hella alcohol?
But what was the oldest person on the Ultimatum season 1? 26?
Yeah, they were all like in their 20s.
I remember a girl came on. She said, "We've been dating since junior year of college," and then put up her age and said 21. I was like, "Girl, that was 6 months ago."
That's a crash out. Yeah.
No, the Ultimatum is insane.
Yeah, it's very crazy. Yeah. So when we were talking about Steph Diggs and the Reformer,
Yeah.
what is it about Pilates in the last couple of years where athletes, professional athletes specifically, that are going crazy over the Pilates, especially the version where you're on a Reformer? Or
LA, first of all.
LA?
All those motherfuckers, especially basketball players. I think NBA players spend all their time in the summer in LA.
Yeah.
I think hoopers live this lifestyle that football players would live if they got paid $60 million to sit on the bench too. Mm-hmm. So I think that helps spread it. And I think that the Hollywood shit has just kind of seeped Pilates into sports.
So should we shift our business plan and just get 10,000 square feet of Pilates reformers?
Be the biggest reformer in King County?
Yeah,
we'll
just hella
60
Pilates.
reformers?
Yeah, just more than that.
Yeah, it would be more than that.
Yeah, just hella.
So what's upstairs? That's heated Pilates. What's downstairs? EDC Pilates. Over there, hip hop Pilates. We do like.
What about the crawl space?
Harry Potter Pilates. You're just in there by yourself.
So in all seriousness, though, like, you know, obviously there's a lot of benefits to it.
Sure.
What would you say some of the benefits are to Pilates?
Oh, I think the main benefits. I think Pilates. I think there's, as I was taught, 5 aspects of fitness, and those are muscle strength, muscle endurance, cardio endurance, or strength, cardio endurance, your heart flexibility, and body composition. And Pilates knocks out 2 of those really well. I think they knock out muscle endurance and flexibility super well in one workout.
Yeah, man.
And I think it has a burn that people like. People really like burns. You know, people love to use 10-pound dumbbells and get a lot because they're chasing a burn.
Yeah.
I think it has that. And I think people like the aesthetic of the like people who are often seen doing Pilates, and they're just like, oh wow, if I do Pilates, I'll look like that. Yeah. I think all those tie in to why people like it.
Yeah, I definitely do see the value in incorporating Pilates to some degree for athletes. You know, because we work with them all day, right? It's like they're gonna come in here 5-10 minutes before their workout.
Yeah,
they're gonna spend all that time getting their shoes on. They're not gonna do any of the warm up. They're not gonna do any of the cool down, and you got to kind of guide them and push them in a different direction sometimes, you know, and kind of save them from themselves. And you take what you can get from them and try to send them off to another space to do some of the other core value, you know, some of the other components that are of value to the athlete. Also, shout out to Move, right? They're crushing it right now, man.
Yeah, they're doing great. It seems
Yeah.
like they expanded their space, and then they opened a new space. This Move Sanctuary.
Yeah, Sanctuary.
Looks cool. People always have great things to say about them.
Yeah.
The shit is always sold out.
Yeah.
So they must be doing it right.
Shout out to them, man. Shout out to them. And shout out to Michelle for always shamelessly plugging Solid Core. They're like rivals, right?
Solid Core?
Solid Core Move.
Nah, because Solid Core doesn't do Pilates.
But they're on a reformer.
I know they're on a reformer. They don't do Pilates.
But think about it. I'm a dummy. So I'm like, oh, where do I go to get on a reformer? I don't care what, right? It's like, I don't think most, unless you're an instructor or Pilates is something that's like a foundational tool for an individual, you're just chasing endorphins. And I think that a lot of the consumers make their decisions on where they're going based upon where they're going to find the highest endorsement high.
Yeah, or the biggest pain that makes it feel like it's...
Sure.
Like, I think sometimes people are looking like, like even when we've had AbLab. AbLab has had seasons where you show up on a Saturday, AbLab is 45 deep.
Yeah.
In the right season, people are just they think if they just beat their core to death, then they're going to have abs.
Yeah.
So I get it. And the woman who invented it or created it, she knew what she was doing.
Sure.
She took a Legree machine, made a thing, and that's killing it as that's killing it.
Yeah.
McDonald's ain't gourmet, but it's one of the number one restaurants in the world.
For sure, man. Well, shit, man. Something epic happened over the weekend. Something that I know you were definitely tuned in for. It was the All-Star game.
Oh, yeah. The All-Star game.
Can you give me a breakdown of the All-Star game? I want to know who had the freshest fit, who had the deepest entourage. Yeah, I want to know it all. Before we even we're not talking about the NBA either, all right? We're talking about the what?
The W.
The W, man. Well, shit, that was like a two-day event?
Yeah, it seems like their All-Star weekend is more of a 2-day thing. They do like the skills on Friday, and then they did the real game on Saturday.
Yeah.
And they changed the format this year. They went All-Star, top 12 All-Star votes versus Team USA, so the team that we're sending to the Olympics next week. And because it's vote-based, the voting is crazy. Their top vote getter last year got something like 88,000 votes, and their top vote getter this year was like over 1 million.
Yeah.
And of course, the number 2 vote getters were Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark, as you would expect. But yeah, that just shows that there's so many more eyes on their sport right now, and there's a good time for them to showcase. Maybe it was almost like showcasing the rising stars versus the Team USA, to be honest, because that WNBA All-Star team was pretty young.
Yeah, no, I thought that shit was fly. I thought it was cool. Who was the MVP of the All-Star game?
Enrique?
She was balling, boy.
My buddy asked me, he said, I'm trying to bet on Team USA the over or plus or minus 7.5. And I was like, bro, it's a little dangerous just because Enrique should be on Team USA and it's on the WNBA team. And she low-key a MVP candidate.
Yeah.
She went crazy. She went like 7 for 9 from threes in the third quarter.
You know that feeling, too, when you just know everything you touch is just going through the net.
She went crazy.
That has got to be a surreal feeling to experience.
She went crazy.
Yeah.
You know who is also the craziest duo ever?
Who's that?
Perfect duo?
Who's that?
Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese.
Oh, they played well together.
Their games are so complimentary of each other.
They played really well together.
And I know Caitlin Clark was so happy to have people who can catch.
Sure. Yeah. Well,
She was like, I thought the Angel should catch it.
Yeah, Indiana sucks.
They can't catch it all.
They
look like
terrible.
Braylon Edwards.
Yeah. Well, shoot, man. Some other news over the weekend.
Yeah, we got lots of news.
Come on, man. They were in Toronto. They were in Toronto over the weekend.
Which is crazy because so who's allowed in Toronto, who's not? Because I heard they were turning TDE away.
Yeah. Well, the thing that's crazy is I heard about that Schoolboy Q incident where he had a concert in Toronto and it was canceled.
Yeah.
Come to find out, this is alleged. Drake is one of the owners of the venue.
Oh, crazy.
Right. But I don't think Drake is just like I don't think Drake nor his team are just stepping on artists' ability or access to do their job.
Yeah.
I just think that it's like, hey, we had this kind of like weird thing that took place with Rick Ross.
Yeah.
And we just want this to kind of simmer down a little bit more before we start to kind of like allow.
It sounded to me like it was like some of the local police weren't trying to fuck with it. Like
Yeah, but the local police also came out and said that it wasn't their call.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah. But I think that the thing that's interesting about seeing all that is like, well, you've seen all these Toronto artists go to LA,
Yep.
right? And it's
Yep.
like, okay, so I think that from a when you think about the street politics,
Yeah.
we've kind of given you guys the ability to come to LA and do your job, right?
Yeah.
Under like, and you guys have been able to come and walk away with all your faculties and be Gucci. And if now what you're telling us as LA artists that if we come to Toronto, like we're not going to be able to perform, we might just change your experience overall moving forward. And that's where I think it gets dangerous, right?
Sure.
So I think that, because you know the history about LA and hip hop and checking in
And those motherfuckers you can't be a hip hop artist and not go to LA.
yeah, it's one of your biggest income generators.
It's got to be the biggest, right?
Yeah, for
It's
sure.
got to be number one.
Either
So-
that or New York, but yeah, it's like so.
But the only reason I say LA is because people go gold in LA.
Sure.
They go gold without leaving
Sure.
LA.
Yeah. But anyways, man, Drake and 50 Cent over the weekend, and they made it a point to post it on both of their socials.
Trolls.
Like, it doesn't change my opinion on what took place. Kendrick bodied you, dog.
Oh, sure.
I don't care if Louis Farrakhan is sitting next to Drake. He got bodied. Like, you can have my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ sitting next to you, bro. You still lost.
Yeah, nah, he lost.
So then, I didn't get it. I didn't get the unless it was just like, hey, we're homies and we took a picture.
I think he's just doing a lot of things to show like he's not tripping, to overall lessen the blow. That's the only thing I can think.
Sure.
Because he's not going away. He's out there. He's making music, not his own music, but he might pop out in somebody's video on their song, mostly Sexy Red.
Sure. Yeah, but again, I think that like 50 Cent's music career is over. So
Yeah.
how does that benefit Drake's career? Like showcasing to the world that he's hanging out with 50 Cent. Unless they're working on like a script or something like that for a TV show or a movie. You know what I mean? Like, is he going to be on, is Drake going to play a main character in one of his Power Book 60s?
It's going to be Power Book 7, Wheelchair Jimmy.
Yeah, so I mean, shout out to Drake, shout out to Fifth, man.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what the goal is.
We also have run clubs on the whiteboard.
Yep.
You want to touch on that a little bit?
Man, I guess they're getting popular. Being from Seattle, it seems like they've always been a thing here, but I definitely noticed they're getting more popular. Running in general is getting more popular. Why do you think that is? Run clubs specifically, I guess.
I think run clubs have always existed. I just think that they explode in the summertime.
Yeah.
So you see them a little bit more because you're also more inclined to be outside.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's raining, you know where Rebel's not going to be? Outside.
You remember the November Project from like 5 years
Sure,
ago?
I remember,
And they used to be
yeah.
like year round.
Yeah.
But you're right.
They were insane.
I would look at that and I'd be like, man, that looks fun. No chance. But if you had caught me in July, I might be down for the November Project.
Yeah, I'm not going outside at 4 a.m. in November, December to be cold and run. I'm straight.
Yeah, I'm with you. But I do think run clubs have kind of showed. I think running, similar to maybe yoga, Pilates, weightlifting, are things that have always been associated with a certain body type. And I think people are realizing that every body type can do all these things. Like, everybody can't run a 5-minute mile, but everybody can run. Like,
Yeah, I guess Can I ask the question?
Yeah, what's up?
Or not even, it's my opinion.
Yeah.
You know, running at that level is like a talentless sport.
A talentless sport?
Yeah.
At what level?
The level in which you see these run clubs. Because, you know, as experts in the industry, we look at 99% of these runners outside and we're like, oh my God, that looks terrible.
Yeah, but I think that's the point. It's that people are finding run clubs no longer requiring talent to keep up. Like, you don't need a 9-minute mile to join a run club. Like
but I'm not even talking about the amount of time it takes someone to run a mile as much as it is just we're talking about.
You're talking about form?
Yeah.
Because part of the talent is being able to run a fast mile.
Sure.
Like, if we're talking about just talent, you can pick small regions of East Africa and find more talent than the entire United States.
Yeah.
For running.
That's what we do, though.
That's talent. But I'm saying that's talent.
But yeah, that's what we do.
Even the runners, you look at the U.S. team, you're like, oh, we're kind of killing in distance, and you'd be like, none of those people are from here.
They're being represented by the United States.
That's just like Kenya sending over their shittiest runners who are still filthy.
That is too funny. Yeah, man. But I think that, and obviously back to what you said earlier, I think that again, LA is kind of like the trendsetter.
Yeah.
You know, I think a lot of this stuff kind of like started in LA, New York.
That's a good point. I wasn't thinking about that, but I do notice when I go to LA and stay, like, you stay at a hotel and they give you a little flyer like, join our run club this morning, blah, 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 blah. And that was like, I'm talking like 8 years ago.
Yeah, because they've got hundreds of run clubs in LA.
Yeah.
And a lot of them, you know, are sponsored by Nike to some capacity or another, you know, shoe company or whatnot. But I love seeing people move their bodies. I think that that's the most important thing. I think, you know, I'm obviously just being I'm being a hater. I was just joking about the talentless aspect of it. I think that, yeah, I love seeing, like, even my mom and dad are in run clubs, right, in Edmonds, and they go at their own pace, and I love that for them.
Yeah.
I think that's incredible, and I think that there's not an age requirement, and that's the beauty in that. I think like seeing people experience life in that fashion with like their own bus full of cheerleaders kind of rooting them on in the form of running, I think is dope. And it is polarizing. I think it really is polarizing because it doesn't require much. It's like, you got a pair of tennis shoes, right?
Yeah.
Throw your light windbreaker on and let's go. This is the distance, but we aren't going to tell you how fast or how slow you got to get to the finish line.
Yeah.
And I think that's incredible.
Yeah, and I think one of the things, I think running has also, for some people, has probably felt not accessible.
Yeah.
But I think one of the things that's very accessible about running is what you just said. Put your shoes on.
Yeah.
Go.
Yeah.
You ain't got to drive nowhere.
Yeah.
Just go. And with what we have now with Apple Watches and phones, take your Apple Watch and some earbuds. Use your Apple Watch to get back in your house. You don't got to travel with nothing. And you could take that anywhere. You can take your gym now all around the world with you.
Yeah.
So I think that can be a new feeling to people.
Yeah.
If you're someone who had run because you played sports and you ran for conditioning or whatever on your off time, it might not feel as novel or exciting. But, you know, some people looked at runners and were like, damn, I could never do that. Mm-hmm. And are realizing at 25, 30, 40, like, oh, shit, I can do that. Right? And that's a good feeling.
Yeah, I think it's incredible. So shout out to all the runners out there, man. We support you. We love you. And we want you to continue to run your marathon, run your race, run your marathon. And we salute y'all, man. Big time. For sure, for sure. Chris Brown's coming into Seattle on Thursday.
Yep.
Have you been following his tour?
I haven't been following his tour.
So forget.
I've only followed one part.
Yeah, me too. $1,100.
He did this as his last tour too.
Yeah,
the meet and greet
doing
thing?
it for some time now.
Yeah, the meet and greet is hilarious. It's insane.
Yeah,
the price is insane. He giving you what you're paying for.
So what is the $1,100 all include?
I think
in the photo.
I think it's you get to take a photo with your leg on Chris Brown's shoulder.
I've seen more than just that.
Okay, fine. Fine. You get to put both hands down like 630.
6.
Like, what?
Oh man, what do you do if Megan is like, "Hey babe, I'm going to the Chris Brown concert and I paid that additional $1,100 to take a photo with Chris Brown"? What's your reaction?
I get to spend $1,100 guilt free on something for myself.
Okay. So you don't mind it?
That's my reaction. I'm like, oh, dope.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay knows better.
I don't know what it's gonna be.
I'm not going for that. We're gonna have some problems.
But that's because you would be in more trouble.
Why would I be in trouble?
Because Chris Brown has a very specific type.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'm not going.
And I don't mean you would be in trouble specifically, but I mean we worried about different.
I wouldn't be mad at Chris Brown. I would get a one-way ticket to Miami, Florida, and I'd spend the next 10 days at Booby Trap. And I would take 90% of my earnings, and I would let the nearest bank know that I need it in cash, all ones, ASAP.
Yeah, those things are wild. I want to see. Have you seen any wedding rings
What do
in
you
any of
mean?
those photos?
Huh?
Have you seen any wedding rings in any of those
I've
photos?
seen wedding rings. I've seen public breakups, post photos.
Public breakups is crazy because you didn't know.
Yeah.
If you didn't know, that feels crazy.
The thing that's crazy is Chris Brown he's probably walking away. He's probably walking away with like 60 racks every show,
For
just a couple pictures.
The most hilarious thing ever.
Yeah, and it like works for, like, from a marketing aspect. It just is genius because then you see it all over the internet for the next like 12 days.
Yeah. No, it's super funny. It feels, it's hilarious to me.
But if you haven't already gotten your tickets, man, make sure you guys go and support the homie Chris Brown, man, this Thursday. I think he's at Climate Pledge. Where's he at?
He better be at
Friday
Climate
or
Pledge.
Thursday? At Climate Pledge?
If he can't sell Climate Pledge, I'd be in.
What I will tell you about Chris Brown is, man, he's an amazing performer. He is the male version of like Beyonce. He's going to sing. He's going to dance. What? You nodding?
No, I'm shaking my head.
Why? Are you doing the beehive thing?
Nope.
What are you
Chris
doing?
Brown has done some terrible things that
Yeah.
I do not fuck with.
Yeah, sure.
That man is the most talented man I've ever seen.
He's better than Usher. I said it.
You're just talking about him in music.
No, I'm talking about
Put him on a
as-
football field.
Sure.
The man to dunk on you.
Yeah.
The
And he's
man's out there doing backflips.
and he's a gangster.
Like, he can rap. You know in Friday Night Lights where his uncle's going crazy about all the things Bowie Miles can do?
Yeah.
That's Chris Brown.
Yeah, that's Chris Brown. That is Chris Brown. Are you sure it's not on Thursday? You want to confirm? Because my notes say Thursday. In closing, though.
I figured it was on Thursday as the...
Okay.
It's not the Thursday warm-up for Blast Fest?
It's the Friday warm-up for Blast Fest on Saturday.
Oh, yep. My fault. There you go.
We need to what? Go ahead, Phil. Plug it.
Chris Brown will be here Friday warming up the town for Blast Fest on Saturday.
Man, you better add some culture to what you're saying, man. Anyways, man, I'm going to steal the mic from Phil once again, man. My brother Bobby is doing his second annual Blast Fest, man, this Saturday, the 27th. He's got a phenomenal list of phenomenal artists that will be there. I don't know any of their names. I'm just keeping it a stack, man. But I went last year. I had an amazing time. The city showed up. It was beautiful. It was clean. It was fun. People had a great time. People smiled.
Where is it?
It is at Space Needle, kind of like, right? Space Needle?
Seattle Center Fairgrounds.
Yeah. What do they call it? Fisher Pavilion? Yeah, man. So shout out to Bobby, man. Shout out to his whole team. Shout out to Brianna. And shout out to his whole team once again, man. If you guys haven't already bought your tickets, buy your tickets. If you need a discount, hit me up, man. I got y'all, man. Shit, I think there's still some diamond tickets available. They sold out? Okay, cool, man. Cool. Other than that, Phil, are you going? Are you going to show support?
Man, I don't know.
Did you just lie to me on live television?
No, I don't know.
So you might go.
I could.
You could go. So you don't have plans on Saturday?
Man, to be honest, I'm going to be real.
Yeah.
2025 is the year I get a calendar.
Yeah.
Because I be sounding like I'm lying to my friend's face, and they be like, "You doing something Saturday?" I'm like, "Bro, I'm not lying. I really don't know. I have a calendar for athletic form and not for anything else."
Yeah.
So I don't think so. I think I got plans Sunday. I don't think I got Saturday plans.
Yeah. It is. If you didn't go last year, you guys got to go, man. It
looked super fun last year.
Yeah, man. And it's just like the city showed up, man. And there's just something about Afro music, man. It's just like the vibe, the feeling it gives people. People are smiling. It's very black. It is diverse, but it's very black. And it just highlights why you look at my man Phil like that after I said that. But it does highlight Seattle, the greater Seattle area, in a really beautiful way, man. And again, man, I can't just say it enough about Bobby, man. He saw it for himself and he executed on his vision. He's got an incredible team behind him, man, and he's got the city behind him, man, and it's his time, man. So, again, like I said, if you haven't purchased a ticket, please do that. And shout out to Blast Fest, man. You want to close this out, Phil, with a little bit of energy? Please.
From Robel and Philip from the Two Truth Podcast. Go out and fucking vote, yo. We're not doing this again in November. All right?
Go vote.
Have a good night.
Peace and love.